Masimo Rizzo wasn't out there with the forwards group earlier, or with the full team earlier. Are you just monitoring his ice time right now?
No, yeah. So he had an injury at the end, or the later part of his season there with Denver. He was dealing with a high ankle sprain. Kind of played through it, came back, re-injured it, and then he had he obviously played in the championship, the Frozen Four, whatever, when they won it. Came to Lehigh after that, and same thing. He's been back skating. He's completely healthy and fine, but right now for development camp to have him go through drills and practice, we wanted to be ready for the start of the season, so it just doesn't make sense. So he should be out here with the forward group now, so he's just going to not do the practice sessions, and he won't do the scrimmage, so just kind of have him around the camp and stuff and doing the forward group stuff, but not the practice or the game. So
this is the second time you're seeing Oliver Bonk up close. What have you seen him progress most in terms of his game, physically, whatever?
Yeah, a lot of it's confidence. Obviously, London's got a good team, and they had a great season with the success they had. The opportunity for him to go play World Juniors, I think, was a big step for him. I know it's a big confidence boost for players getting a chance to do that. But watching him play this year, I think just his ability to go back and break pucks out. He's a big, strong kid. He reads the forecheck well. He breaks pucks out well. He's confident with players on his back, moving pucks, getting up ice. Obviously, we'll continue to work. The biggest thing for players to transition to the next level is the speed at any level you transition to. So that'll be the biggest thing, is just continuing to work on his speed, his foot speed. Getting up ice the way the Flyers play here. Their D are active. They're angling, checking forward, surfing, whatever you want to call it. So they're kind of moving. So we're going to work on that with these young D and getting them not retreating as much. Moving up. London plays they sit back a little bit more in some of the way that they play. So just having these guys skate a little bit more, get them moving and transitioning and ready for the next level.
Does it speak to the mental side of his game that he was able, because he obviously ends the World Juniors with that tough luck play, not his fault, but it still led to the end, led the team losing.
Yeah.
That he was able to shake that off as quickly as he did and still have a really, really strong second half of the playoffs.
Yeah, he's a pretty resilient kid. I think that's tough. Stuff's gonna happen. Like you said, unfortunate plays. It's not anything you can control. Stuff's gonna happen. Unlucky things are gonna happen. It's when you play defense, pucks are gonna go in off you. Different things are gonna happen. So like you said, a good thing and a big thing for us is how he responded. I think he responded all season long like that. Even watching London play, if they went through tough stretches, they responded. He was a big time leader there, and I think it's going to continue to grow that way as he continues through junior and getting a chance to push here for the Flyers in pro hockey.
How important is it to have him and Parky playing on the same team for the Flyers organization, since they'll be the future cornerstones maybe?
Yeah, it's great. London does. I mean, everyone knows the London Knights and Hunter there, how well the brothers do there with the kids that they have and developing young players there. So we're obviously very fortunate to have them playing in such a good program and getting the development they are. And anytime we go into town to watch those guys, they're very, very helpful and opening to us being there. And so I think they're two really good friends. Obviously, if we get a chance to play together and to have them both be Flyers is exciting. And I think Bark's had a great year too, and he's going to continue to get better and better and push here come. Now that he's signed, once these guys get through their 19-year-old junior year, we'll kind of look at what the transition looks like into pro hockey.
Is that important though, to have that two guys that are so tight moving forward?
I think so. I think it's a benefit for sure. Even if we go out like we're going out, we're kind of dividing up the forwards and the D when we go out as a development staff to watch them play. So obviously if we can hit on two guys in the same spot, and like I said, they're just it's so important. Some of the kids that we have, if they're in not a great program or not great coaching, some of that stuff, and it's hard in our role. We don't want to overcoach. They got to listen to their coaches. They have agents, advisors. They have other people talking to them. Sometimes it becomes too much, so we got to be careful in that area what we're saying to these kids. But I think we don't have to worry about it because we know they're getting great coaching. We can kind of just let them play. If there's little things, little areas of their game we can see that we can help them with, and we kind of work with their coaches, make sure we're not kind of doing too much and confusing the players when they got to go out and play for their junior teams or college teams.
I remember we asked you about Hunter McDonald last summer. You said it's hard not to love the kid, the way he works. How much more is he looking like a physical NHL defenseman to you?
Yeah, it was hard for him start of the year. He had an injury, so he missed the first part of the season, but I think he bounced back after that. Like once he got a chance to start playing right around Christmas time, they had a tournament there. It was his first kind of game action, and then he kind of, took him a few games to get going, which is normal for coming back from an injury, but he had a great finish to the season in Northeastern. He got a chance for him to come and play pro and kind of feel a little bit in Lehigh the speed of pro hockey and playing there with Hunter, he's an old school defenseman. He's a throwback. It's, you see kids now. I think we lack the physicality around our net and playing hard in the corners front of the net. That just comes natural to him. That's the way he plays. He's whacking guys. He slashes them, cross checks. He plays hard. He makes it hard on forwards coming in the front of the net, in the corners. And I think the difference from him from maybe the old school D that's like that, he can skate. He's an unbelievable skater. He can move. He can get up ice. All this stuff we talk about, checking, angling, sticks, all that stuff. He's such a good skater that he can do that. He can play that way. He can move pucks. Everything he does is hard. He shoots the puck hard, passes it hard. So that part of it to me is a pro game for him where he's at right now, which is exciting. He kind of had that a little bit. So we'll continue to work on the quickness with him, just, moving pucks and finding lanes and things like that, but he's right there knocking on the door. So it's exciting for us as a staff. We have a lot of guys coming up on the D side that are pushing, and that's what we want.
I know this is a little bit above your pay grade, obviously, but
yeah.
With regards to Hunter, you obviously spent a ton of time in the NHL. Do you think he's close to maybe making the jump, or is he a little bit further?
Yeah, I think he is. I think the progression for D from us from a development side, I think it's good to get some time in the American League. If you have guys at the NHL level instead of stuffing a defenseman, I believe it's a little bit harder to come in and play as a defenseman in the NHL. You look at Zamula a little bit too. I think if these guys can come in as a 5-6 role, if we're projecting them even higher, if they're going to be a top pairing guy or a top 4 guy, I think there's a progression to that. And if we have guys, we're fortunate right now. We have guys at the NHL level that can play. Our D is, I think, really exceptional, the guys we have at the NHL level. So we got time for Hunter to develop, which I think is going to give him the best opportunity when he can push for the Flyers. But I think he will. I think come through rookie camp, main camp, I think he's going to push, and that's what we want. That's what we want. We want our young guys coming up. That's our job as a development staff, is to have these guys pushing and to make it hard on the management. They got to, is this guy ready to play? Are we moving on from this guy? Can he knock another guy out? And that's what makes team better. If we got young guys pushing and making it more competitive at camp. And that's our minor league team. We got a lot of good young defensemen that I think are kind of knocking on the door. And if we have injuries like last year, like Louis Belpedio came up, played well, Yinning added at the end of the year. So we got guys there that are pushing, that are coming. I think we have good depth. If guys do get hurt at the NHL level, we can plug guys in that can play up here. So
where do you see Carter Sutherland's ceiling and where his game is now?
Yeah, it's coming. Same with him. He plays at a good program, good coaching out in Portland. He's a good, really good team. He played on last year. So he's coming. It's hard. The biggest thing with junior age players, we only have a couple years to work with them. Then they got to make a decision. Having only 50 contracts, who you're signing. Obviously, management has to make decisions. Who we're keeping, who we're not keeping. So it's going to be a big year for him this year. We're going to have to work with him, watch him this year, and see how he progresses throughout the year. But he's a big kid, big right shot. He put up some points this year. Same thing with the way the Flyers are playing now. We got to pick up his pace a little bit, get him skating a little more active, a little more involved in his checking and getting up ice and establishing those gaps and stuff. But that's just transition from junior to pro hockey, a lot of those details and habits. So, but he's definitely another good, draft pick for us, later pick that we just, it's exciting for us to continue to work with these kids and try to push them to, sign a pro contract.
To extend on what you just talked about earlier about the fact that the young guys out there, can they sense that the Flyers are in a rebuild and that there's opportunity? I mean, some teams, they have set rosters for the next few years, but here it looks like it's more open.
Yeah, I think so. That's been the messaging from up top, I think, right? Since Danny and Jonesy kind of took over, right? Kind of they're looking for young players. We have to draft well and we have to develop. That's big for our team. I think our scouts have done a great job drafting now. Drafting well the last few years, and us for developing. And we look at it, Igor Zamula was for these kids coming here, tryout guys or in a tryout, he signed a development camp and now he's playing for the Flyers. Cam York, first round pick, went through the minors playing for the Flyers, right? So, these kids, they understand that they're there and they can make the jump, they can make the step, and it's our job to continue to work with them and push them. But they know there's opportunity, right? And you can see with what's going on, free agency, trades, there's, with 32 teams now, there's lots of action, different teams in different spots where they are as an organization, right? So I think these guys got a good idea, good plan in their head where guys fit, and it's our job kind of timeline when they can hopefully plug some of these young guys into the lineup.